Welcome you all to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. The SNAP program cutbacks has people in a fury. And I understand when you're dependent on something and you've gotten used to it, it can cause disappointment. I had SNAP for about maybe 5 months, and it felt mighty good to get that relief rather than paying cash money for food. But when you don't need it, you don't need it. Everybody can need it. Let's say that. Let me fix that. Everybody can need it. But there's people who are really in need, and then there's able-bodied people.
Currently, about 36 million Americans receive this help buying groceries. As William Brangham now reports, the administration argues this change will save billions of dollars by removing millions of people from the food stamp rolls.
That's right, Amna. The administration argues it needs to close a loophole in the food stamp program that allows some people with savings and other assets to get benefits that the administration argues they do not deserve. In a call yesterday, Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue repeatedly cited the case of one retired Minnesota millionaire named Rob Undersander. This is him in a video produced by a conservative advocacy group. Undersander was able to enroll in the food stamp program and says he received benefits for almost 2 years. He says he did it to prove a point and that he gave the money to charity. The administration said closing this loophole would save $2.5 billion and remove about 3 million people from eligibility. Joining me now is Elaine Waxman. She's a senior fellow at the Urban Institute, where she studies federal food programs like the SNAP program. Welcome to the NewsHour.
Thank you for having me.
So if these rules go forward, the administration says about 3 million people will be booted out of the food stamp program. What do we know about who those 3 million people are?
So what we know about those who are likely to be affected by the rules change, should it go through, is that they are typically working families. They have low earnings because they can still qualify for a SNAP benefit, but they are disproportionately working. They also disproportionately tend to have children. So in both cases, these are groups of people that the administration typically talks about in terms of wanting to be sure and support, that they want to encourage work. Unfortunately, those are the groups that are probably most likely to be hurt.
So help me understand why then the administration holds up an example like this Minnesota millionaire as someone who clearly has plenty of assets, maybe not, I believe he's retired and so he didn't have a lot of income. Why do they hold up that gentleman as an example of why they need to cut these other people off the program?
I think it's a little bit of a distraction because what we know from USDA's own data is that less than 1% of SNAP benefits go to people who have incomes above the federal poverty line. So we're reaching exactly the audiences we want to reach. There's no evidence of widespread fraud. And it's allowed states to be responsive to families that are maybe earning a little bit more income and at risk of losing benefits if they get a 50-cent an hour increase in their wages. If that happens and they lose SNAP benefits, they may actually be worse off. Those are the kinds of things that states have been trying to avoid.
One of the arguments that the administration seems to be making is that states need to do a better job of checking people's assets. Again, this millionaire example is seemingly someone who had banked a considerable amount of money. What is the argument for not making sure people have no assets before you grant them food stamps?
So if you think about it, we want people to have some level of assets because that is their buffer against unexpected expenses and emergencies. For example, among seniors, we are very concerned that they may be in a position of having to spend down their limited resources without any opportunity to replace that with earnings. We want people to be able to cover an emergency room visit or a car repair that allows them to go back to work without going into debt. So this is a program that has allowed the relaxation of some of those assets. And also has reached exactly the population that we want to help serve, which is, again, those people who are really working hard to improve their outcomes.
We should say for the record that we asked the Agriculture Secretary to come on the program and he declined that invitation. But the administration seems to be arguing that the economy is doing well, unemployment is incredibly low, and so it's okay that it's appropriate to make these types of cuts to this program.
So here's where we are. Even though the economy is improving, we still have 36 million people who qualify for SNAP. We know that people are getting work at higher rates, but the kinds of work they're getting is not necessarily high paid and not stable hours. That's what we're facing. In the absence of a dramatic change in people's circumstances, which we're not seeing in this current economy, if you terminate SNAP benefits, we can anticipate that more people will be food insecure and more people will be in poverty, because we know from research that SNAP combats those two things. We really worry about that because food insecure families are more likely to experience hospitalizations, children are less likely to do well in school, seniors who are food insecure are more likely to have chronic health problems. So we might save some money in one particular aspect of our expenditures. It'll show up somewhere else.
And those that she mentioned can slide through the loophole who really needs the help is that group that she said may get an increase on their job, and now they're earning slightly more than they were, but it just pushed them over the threshold from receiving food benefits. That's much needed, and that's unfortunate. But at the same time, I understand it could be a catch-22 because state departments have a job to do. They're trying to weed out the people who may be trying to take advantage of the system while still getting benefits to people who are eligible. And that can be a hard job to do because, like the millionaire, how in the world did he slide through? Somebody was not checking up. This man have all these assets and he receives those benefits for 2 years. Good he was, if it's true, he donated the money to a charitable organization, because the program is not meant to build wealth off of. It's to be a lifeline, help people to survive. And hopefully the people who are able-bodied can understand that, use the benefits for the time that you need it, and get off.
Today is food stamp day, as y'all can see. I've been waiting for the 17th to come for so long, y'all. First, I didn't even think I was gonna get them because I had been waiting for the approval. They had not sent me no paper saying like I was approved or denied. When I checked my card at 12 o'clock in the morning, I was happy. I instantly made me a damn Walmart order. As most of y'all know, I do not have a car, so I have to get everything delivered to my house. I got 60 items for $440. Now, this is not everything that I'm getting, but they, I guess, say that you can't go over 100 items. I gotta do 2 separate orders. This is the first order. Last night was the very last meal that I had to eat. And I tell y'all, I'm about to fucking good tonight. Y'all don't even understand. I'm about to make fucking Chipotle bowl. For the people that got something to say about food stamps, baby, y'all mad because y'all can't get none. That's just that. As most of y'all know, I have 4 kids and they're under 5, so y'all know I'm getting a couple dollars. For the people that think that they too good to get food stamps, is y'all cool? Free food? Is y'all cool? This is all the things that I did get, y'all. This is just for the first order. It do not look like it's $440. Shit nowadays is high. Missing so many freaking items, y'all. I could have sworn that I had got way more shit than this, but then I had to remind myself, like, they made me put most back because they said I couldn't do over 100 items.
Now, of course, the children need to eat. They need the support. And I don't follow her channel to see what her status is. Some people won't weed themselves off a program. They have to have help to get weeded off of programs. They don't like it. Nobody likes it when you get comfortable with receiving something that's free. But it's necessary.
So I just got back home from a meeting with my DHS caseworker, I guess you would call it, an appointment. I've never had to do this. It was a in-person appointment to go over my benefits, what I'm receiving, my income. It was kind of like a review, but since I've been on welfare, I've been getting assistance for so long, they had to go over everything with me. I am having to, it's this work program to where if you are not working, but you are receiving benefits, whether it's food stamps, cash assistance, Section 8, they are now requiring you to do this work program for 40 hours minimum, more than a full-time job. So even though I am on disability and I am not able to go get a full-time physical job, they are requiring me to do this work program, which is pretty much, I might as well go out and get a job. So they're making us do this 40-hour-a-week work program to get us to go get a job, and then once we have a job and have income, we're not eligible for the benefits anymore. That's what they're doing to us. So they are screwing us like they always do. So if you're getting assistance, this is going to be happening to you. It's going to be across America. So thank you, government.
If she's disabled, I don't think that they're going to cut her off of her benefits. If she's disabled, she needs her benefits. I saw another one of her videos. She was celebrating, said, I got $24,000. For what reason? I don't know how she get $24,000 in benefits. But that's not what it's for. It's to bank up and build up like that. It's to support the families. Now, she's had a little rant there saying it's coming your way. You're next. But don't be discouraged. If you need the help, if you're eligible, you get your eligibility. Don't be going off of hearsay. Stay with your caseworker and go through the process.
But thousands of Metro Atlantans are finding out they are no longer eligible for food stamps. The change affects Cobb, Gwinnett, and Hall counties. Channel 2 Sophia Choi is live in Cobb County. And Sophia, this involves able-bodied adults who are now required to go to work.
Able-bodied adults who have no dependents. Now, this is where people can come to enroll in the food stamps program with the Department of Family and Children Services in Cobb County. And about 3,000 Cobb County residents who get those benefits are now under new requirements.
They seem to have a good attitude, at least those ladies that they showed. And these changes have been coming down the information pipe slowly when Donald Trump first took office. If you happen to be disappointed and you're able-bodied, put all your resources in place. Don't do nothing illegal, you all. Don't do anything to get yourself in trouble. Put your mind and your resources in place. Put on all your talents, all your gifts, and try to do things to put yourself in a better position. If you show effort that you're trying to work and you're going through the work program, you have to, do what the county asks you to do. Show up at the meetings. Don't show up there with a bitter attitude. We all want something for free. Everybody out here who are not on these programs at all, I'm sure they could say, throw something my way. Help me out a little bit. Many people are struggling, doing the best that they can. Keep a good attitude, okay?